all of this would come out in a court case.
In disclosure, yes.
And you're prepared to do that?
Yes. Because I didn't write him the emails.
Who do you think did?
I have no idea. I think he probably made them up himself. I've no idea.
The real-life Martha has come forward from Baby Reindeer to talk to Piers Morgan tonight, and she says that she never sent a single message to Richard Gadd. Or does she? In fact, she changes her mind quite a few times throughout the interview, where she wavers between having 6 phones and 4, having access to his mobile number and then not having any access to his mobile number, and having messaged him on Twitter and then not messaged him on Twitter at all.
If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively contacting
yeah, absolutely know it.
In the show, we see Richard Gadd as Donnie, who is being stalked by Martha, who was indeed his real-life stalker. He says that she met him in the pub that he used to work in Camden, and he offered her a cup of tea, but she says this is complete lies and that she was in there for lunch because she was hungry and diabetic, and he was the one that started the conversation. In fact, she goes on to rule out much of which the show focuses on, saying that Richard never visited her apartment, that he was the one that was pestering her, and that he was actually, in fact, the instigator of the entire relationship between the two of them. He was contacted by Martha many, many times, 41,000 emails, hundreds of voicemails, and many tweets, but she alleges that she did not do any of this. Instead, she says that she has not been contacted by Netflix to have any involvement in the show and calls Richard Gadd psychotic.
So you're denying sending anything to him?
There may have been a couple of emails.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Fiona denies all of the claims that Richard Gadd makes about her during the drama. And instead, she says, I think he's done bloody well out of defaming me. He's making money out of untrue facts. He's being the ultimate misogynist.
I've watched Baby Reindeer, and I watched Baby Reindeer with a mixture of fascination and horror. I have previously been stalked myself and therefore was intrigued by how the stalking was going to be portrayed. And in the end, I became really worried because I felt that some of the information, given how much Baby Reindeer was predicated upon being a true story, I became worried that the information that the viewer might receive from the drama was not information that I would advise.
And what you're saying is you've never been even charged with an offence?
No.
I would expect from someone in the character Martha's position, so even if we accept that Fiona Harvey has admitted that she is the character that's portrayed as Martha, I would accept that someone in Martha's position would find it difficult to recognize that the behavior that they were engaging in was dysfunctional. And I would expect them, therefore, to present themselves in a way in which they minimized or denied entirely the behavior that was the stalking behavior. And in fact, I would also go as far as to say that often what will be done is that the person who has been called out for stalking is saying, well, it's not me, it's the person I'm stalking's fault. It's them that are doing the stalking. And so there's a kind of role reversal almost at times that I'm aware of that can happen.
I was talking to somebody, it's pretty rude to interrupt, so he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment.
The key thing to remember is that often what we're dealing with, sometimes people have an underlying personality disorder, sometimes they just have temporary obsessions, which are a feature of other aspects of their mental health, or it may be far more clinically involved. If we are to believe that Martha is an accurate portrayal of Fiona Harvey, and again, remember, this is being denied, but if we are to believe that that is an accurate portrayal, then none of the underlying problems which led to Fiona Harvey beginning to stalk have ever been alleviated. And in fact, they've probably been aggravated because of the media attention now about the program. Often what some stalkers are seeking is recognition, a validation about who they are, and a validation about the relationship that they've been in. And the level of fame, if we are to believe what Richard Gadd has dramatized in relation to Fiona Harvey, if we are to believe that, then the sudden press and media interest more generally in her is a form of validation that is probably unhelpful in terms of her long-term recovery from the kinds of underlying problems that she has had and might still be experiencing.
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
And this is, in fact, some of the, seems to me, forgive me, the naivety of Baby Reindeer. If you are going to say that this is based on a true story, it's inevitable that people will want to determine, well, who is this in real life? What are the real characters that are being dramatically portrayed? And it's, fanciful to imagine, as Richard Gadd has, it seems to me, when he put out a press release saying that people shouldn't try and find out who these people are in real life, it's inevitable that they were going to be uncovered. And that is a very unhealthy situation more generally for everyone involved. My main concern was if the drama accurately portrayed what was happening in real life, the thing that one mustn't do if one is being stalked is encourage the idea that the stalker was genuinely, authentically in a relationship with you. Stalking, I use the acronym FOUR, F-O-U-R. Stalking is about fixated, obsessive, unwanted, and repetitive behavior. And if the stalker is fixated and obsessive, what you have to do is make them realize that that behavior is unwanted. And in the drama, we see the character that Richard Gadd says is genuinely him take the stalker out for coffee, walk the stalker home. That kind of behavior, if it genuinely was the behavior he had engaged in, would merely have encouraged the belief that there was a genuine relationship. The key thing that's missed for me in all of this debate, and clearly this is a story that's going to run and run and run, is that there are every single day literally thousands of people who are suffering from the process of their being a stalker, who is making their life a problem, difficult, impossible. And I would just like there to be much more information about people who are experiencing stalking, much more information about where they can go for help. And can I do a shout out to the Susie Lamplugh Trust, who will give advice over the phone about how to manage what is happening to anybody who is in a situation of currently being stalked. And that's what, for me, has been missing, the sense in which we should be using Baby Reindeer to talk about what is an appalling offense and how we can give help to those people who are the victims of that offense.